God is making everything new. Mission Bilwi. If you look at a map, this area of Nicaragua is called Puerto Cabezas, but the locals refer to it as Bilwi. In November 2020, Category 4 Hurricane Eta hit the eastern coast of Nicaragua in Puerto Cabezas. Just a few weeks later, and a few miles apart, Category 5 Hurricane Iota also hit Bilwi. These two hurricanes devastated this already poor and suffering region. When this happened, leadership of Community Bible Study and the churches in Veracruz, Nicaragua, that One by One has been ministering to for over 15 years, envisioned an opportunity to serve their fellow countrymen by going out on their first mission trip. One by One is a private nonprofit organization established with a primary focus of ministry in Nicaragua. Over the last 16 years, One by One has developed relationships with 8 different churches in the Veracruz area and with 2 different orphanages, one in Veracruz and one in the capital city of Managua. The churches have been served through construction projects, outreach events, including many medical clinics and food and clothing distributions, evangelism, Bible knowledge, and discipleship. The orphanages have been served by spending time with the children, renovation of facilities, and assistance with provision of food, utilities, education, and transportation for the children. One by One has also worked with an English school since its inception in 2008 to provide training in the English language to those in the Veracruz area. Veracruz English Academy, or VEA, began by serving the children living in Verbo Orphanage. Since then, it has expanded outside the orphanage and into the community at large. VEA currently serves over 60 students of all ages to learn English in a Christian environment. The founders of VEA, Regan and Blanca Downs, are also leaders in Community Bible Study, or CBS, in Veracruz. CBS was introduced in this community in 2017. Prior to COVID, 2 churches were active with several groups each, and a number of other churches desire the training so they may begin adult and children classes as well. One by One is currently working with our partner churches in Veracruz to provide leadership to the Nicaraguan team and assistance to those directly impacted by Hurricanes Eta and Iota in the Puerto Cabezas or Bilwi region of Nicaragua. 2 trips have already been made to Bilwi. The initial trip in December 2020 assessed the hurricane damage and the resulting needs of the people and provided needed food for those impacted by the hurricanes. Team members returned in January 2021 to distribute additional food and continue planning for future trips. The next trip will be in April, and several other trips are being planned for later in the year as the needs in this area are tremendous. The journey from Veracruz, Nicaragua to Puerto Cabezas begins. While the distance between these 2 cities is only a little over 300 miles, the condition of the roads makes traveling very difficult. The first trip in December was made by bus. What should have been an 18-hour bus ride turned into a 24-hour trip after a bus breakdown. The trip in January was reduced to a 12-hour drive since they were able to drive a personal vehicle. This is the view of the vehicles on a ferry crossing the Wawa River just outside of Bilwi. After all of that traveling, the team wasted no time once they arrived. They went straight to the principal market to purchase supplies needed for the food distribution. Here you can see the bulk rice, beans, and oil. The couple on the right in the picture are our friends Regan and Blanca Downs. They had the visions for the trips. Here you see Blanca, Regan, and Dave with Pastor Olivarius having a planning meeting to coordinate the details of the church services and the food distribution events, as well as making plans for future ministry in this area. This is Regan with the elders of Bilwi Church. And here are more leaders planning the events of the week. This is a glimpse into the packaging of the food on the January trip. The people at the market were so touched by what was happening that they pitched in and helped turn the bulk bags into individual packages that would be distributed to the families in need. And here you can see the host church, Iglesia de Dios La Bocana, which is La Bocana Church of God. And these are some snapshots of one of the church services where food was distributed. And here you'll see another, this one being an outdoor worship service with a food distribution as well. And here is Blanca and a church leader praying with one of the recipients. And here you see a group picture of the people with their packages of food. On the trip, the team got to visit areas which were hard hit by the hurricanes. They got to see some of the destruction for themselves and meet many of the people who were directly impacted. Even amidst the destruction and devastation the people have endured in the middle of a global pandemic, many of them still find joy in the Lord and fully trust in His provision. Here you see another picture of some of the people of this area and the types of houses where they live. And the boat belongs to a local fisherman there. Regan and Blanca share some supplies with a family impacted by the hurricanes. Pastor Olivarius talks about the impact of the hurricanes. The people of Bilwi commonly speak Mosquito, Spanish, and many of them also speak English. The pastor is speaking in Mosquito here, and Regan begins translating into English shortly.
No tienen necesidad. Y los que están volados los cines, no sé, pero no están dando a ellos, no están apoyando, no están ayudando. Entonces, no sé qué están pasando los líderes de Puerto Cabezas.
Sí. Bueno.
Hay problemas.
Gracias, Pastor Oliverio. Dios le bendiga. Gracias por esta pequeña entrevista que nos brindó el Pastor Oliverio de la Iglesia de Dios. Bendición, hermano.
Ahoya Bilara, Bichwiba Bilwi, Saukitikansa, An Wa Utla Pukumkum, Utla Taurasa, Utla Puanira Di
There's no houses, so
15 Jinkiabisa.
the government is giving them 15 sheets of zinc,
And
with that they cannot build their houses.
And
And the one who really needs, they're not getting it. So this is a big trouble. It's a great trouble. There's no food. People don't have to cook their meals. Like there's no pot, there's no frying pan, no cup, no plate, no spoon. They lost everything. And they don't have the money to buy it. So this is a great trouble. Thank you, Pastor Oliverio. God bless you.
What's next? Well, another team is headed out in April to conduct a medical clinic. They will be doing a series of 5 medical clinics over a 6-day period of time, as well as food distributions. Additional trips are planned for July and September. Basic shelter is still a great need for many people in Bilwi, and rebuilding homes is a priority as additional funds can be raised. How can you help? Please pray for the Nicaraguans impacted by the hurricanes. We give thanks for those who have already traveled and those who have helped provide assistance to those living in this area. Please pray for the traveling members of the April team that God would keep them healthy and safe as they minister to people at the medical clinics still in the midst of this global pandemic. And if God has placed it on your heart and made it possible for you to partner with us financially, checks can be made payable to One by One and mailed to us at this address. And finally, if God is calling you to go, you can reach out to us to discuss details of being part of the traveling team. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers for the Nicaraguan people, for One by One, and for Mission Nicaragua 2021. Thank you for sharing your love and your financial support. Thank you for coming alongside the church in Nicaragua to make a difference in so many lives. Your partnership is so greatly appreciated. Thank you.